Welcome, everybody, to Ask Us Anything.
Yes, we're Mike and Jen. It's Sunday night, and we're glad to see so many of you here tonight joining us. Thanks to Phyllis Carr in Iowa for monitoring and helping everything on our Facebook group and also going through the questions. And over on YouTube, thank you to Chris Cowley, who's there again this week, taking care of everything and posting links. And we remind everybody that at the end of this, there is a post on the Facebook group, the Facebook page, and of course, our YouTube channel. And in the YouTube channel, you can go back and review the comments and the questions in the chat after the program ends. Kind of stays evergreen. Hey, we want to start off with an announcement. We've got winners from our big contest to give away all these awesome bugs off kits that we've had in our sweepstakes. And this is a great cleaning product. And who are our winners? Our
winners are James from Seattle, Washington, and Emily from Moscow, Pennsylvania.
James and Emily, you guys get this great kit. You use that bugs off stuff to clean up our RV.
It works.
There's a video on our YouTube channel of you doing that. And you guys will just love this stuff. You'll be ordering it yourself. And then there's some new stuff that they have, which will help you get the dust from brakes off your wheel covers, and also to get in and clean places.
The hard spots, hard to reach places.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. And we got all of our cameras working. There's one camera. Hey, camera. And there's there's that one over there. And then
I take it you had some idle time today.
I actually got down here about 20 minutes. And I said, you know what? I got all these cameras. I might as well hook them up and show them. All right. Hey, we have one other announcement we want to make, and then we'll get to your questions. And we thank everybody for joining us. We've been talking for a couple of months now that we plan to sell our Class C 2020 Wonder from Leisure Travel Vans. And for a couple of reasons. Number one, we have another one on order. Not a Wonder. We have a Unity. We ordered it just about the time we bought the Wonder. We haven't told a lot. We've mentioned it a couple of times in the last few months, but it's a Unity FX, which is the same model we had 4 years ago. We first got 4 years ago, and this is the 2023. And fingers crossed, we're told that it should be ready for us in mid-September. So
we're hoping that it will be ready, since you've got me cleaning out the Wonder. We both are cleaning out the Wonder, all of our things. I can't believe all the stuff that we have in there.
And we just have loved this Wonder, but we change our RVs about every 2 years, and for a number of reasons, but basically because we always want to be aware of what the current technology is. And so we're going to sell it. Now, don't call me, because we've had a lot of people say, hey, we want to buy it, because it's really hard to get anything like this, still. We want to buy it. And we said, we're going to try and figure out a way to be fair, because some people, I'm first to ask, or I'm the, so we're not going to do an auction or anything. But what we've decided to do is to sell it through Holland Motor Homes in Holland, Michigan. Now, that's the dealer that we have used now for 4 years. We really like this dealership. It's they're just a lot of integrity there. And we love the salesman there, Brad Bohr. And we are going to post in the comments here on the YouTube channel. And also we'll put a post on the Facebook group and page on how to reach Bohr, Brad Bohr. He's the guy. We're delivering it this week, hopefully Tuesday. And then they'll want to, detail it and prep it up a little bit. And then Brad will be handling it all, and you just need to call Brad's phone number. And if you look in the comments on YouTube, Chris has posted it there with Brad's contact number, and on YouTube we'll also post it. So we just figure this is fair, more fair for all those people who've asked, right?
This is the way that you prefer doing this. You feel that you've got any complaints, any problems, anything.
You just go through them.
You go through them.
It's the dealership.
And we say goodbye. And a lot of you are out there. I mean, this is a lot of money. And it just seems
and one of the
easy way to do it, even though,
One of the things with our schedules is that we just don't have time to sit down and answer a lot of questions and all that stuff. I can tell you it has 35,000 miles. and tons of extras that we've added. And Brad will go over all that. I'm sure they'll post a listing on it as well. But Brad's the guy to call, and I don't know what system he's going to have for who gets to see it first. But there's a lot of interest in it, and we're excited. But we don't have time to negotiate, to do all these calls, because we've got travel on the schedule, deadlines, books to write, and I can hardly keep my head above water now.
And if I can say that, honestly, you hate selling things.
I hate selling
every
stuff.
car that we have. We
Don't tell them that
sell it.
Yeah,
we don't sell the car.
I don't.
We always trade it in.
Because
if it had 2 miles on it, we would trade it in.
Because it just,
he doesn't want to deal with
it just takes
some people that aren't reputable. He just doesn't
want
to deal with it.
And it's, so we just are much more comfortable selling it through to them, and they're going to handle the whole thing, and the contact information is there. And so I wouldn't don't call him tonight. It's Sunday night, he's not working, but you can call him tomorrow, and his contact info is there. So that should be fun. We're excited. We'll tell you a lot more now. As you know, we have a fifth wheel. We have the Arcadia fifth wheel. We are going to be using that a lot at our base camp down in Florida or down in Tennessee. And we should also tell, we're not going to share that. Don't say the name. Don't say the name, but we have named our property. We'll tell you about that in a video when we go down to Tennessee in a couple of weeks. But we're going to keep the Arcadia there, and then we're going to use it for some of our longer stays in different places that we want to stay for a long time. And we have to have a motorhome. We've decided that's the only way we want to travel anything over an hour long, that we want to have that motorhome.
Am I going to go through withdrawal?
And
not
you're going to go withdrawal.
Sitting in our driveway?
Yeah, it's not going to be there for about 3 weeks, but we're going to be on the road. You're going to be out of town, so it's not going to make any difference for you because it's there. Okay, enough about all of us, but that's the way we decided we want to handle this. Let's take a look at your questions now and see what you got for questions for us. Let's start with Brenda Swindle.
And this is hello from hot Dallas, Texas. Question, how is the Tennessee property coming?
It's so close, Brenda.
So close, but yet so far.
Well, the big hassle has been electricity. We've got everything in, everything is done. Let me just put it that way. The only thing that hasn't happened is the electricity hasn't been turned on, and we haven't installed gates yet, which we hope to have done this week. We may go down at the end of this week, and it might be delayed until the middle of the following week. But we are really excited about this. We know we don't want to be there without electricity for air conditioning.
Right. We got to have the electricity for air conditioning. Are you keeping quiet about your plans? Do you hear from somebody about something you plan on doing to the fifth wheel? Are you keeping still until it comes together?
Well, we haven't done that video, so I don't want to scoop ourselves. But
okay. Well,
but we can say that the fifth wheel right now, after our gathering at Elkhart, we left the fifth wheel at Keystone RV because we decided we did want to have more solar and more lithium. So we've gone to, I think, 600 amp hours for lithium, and we've added enough solar now on the roof to have 1,200 watts of solar. So that's still not enough to run an air conditioner all night long, but it really will help us because we do like the boondock, and that will help us with the fifth wheel to do some boondocking as well. But for our property in Tennessee, we've got full hookups, 3 sites, and we can't wait to get down there now.
And I think another little glitch in the road for us is that we want a split rail fence and we want gates, and all of a sudden there's a shortage in that. But
they can build a fence for me down there in the next 10 days. I'll do it. The gates are supposed to be in. We'll find more this week. And we'll talk more about it on the podcast on Wednesday, but you're here to ask us questions, not to hear us keep rambling on. But Brendel, or I missed whoever
Joanne.
it was. Joanne, thank you. That's a different Joanne.
Okay.
Whoever that first call was from Texas, we're almost there. Joanne Neely, Brenda Swindle. It is Brenda. Thank you, Brenda. Okay, now let's go to Joanne Neely.
Love the RV proctologist. Both great advice and hilarious. Speaking of great advice, is there a plan to share some of the maintenance ideas from the meetup?
I don't know what she's talking.
Maintenance, I guess, the
Oh, from
workshops?
our Elkhart, out of sight, out of mind, Joanne. Yeah, our Elkhart thing 2 weeks ago. Those are all. No, I don't. I don't have any plans to share any of that. Everybody was supposed to take notes. Now I know you had an excuse to miss a couple of those sessions, but no, we don't. We don't have any plans to do much of that. The RV proctologist, if you're wondering what is she talking about, she's talking about a guy we interviewed on the podcast this past week, who is from Quartzsite, and he has spent the last 15 years advertised running a business called the RV Proctologist, in which he cleans out black tanks and helps people with their problems with their waste tanks and their freshwater tanks as well. And he had just a lot of great stories and a lot of great advice. So yeah, it was a fun podcast. We got a great podcast coming up this week too with a couple we met at Elkhart. And we visited their house. I don't want to give it away, but it'll be a fun one.
Don't know if you're going to do that or save it for Saturday.
Oh no, it's going to be on the podcast.
Okay.
So, it's all set.
Okay.
Yep. Go small, live large.
Scott here. Are you still planning to attend the Hershey RV show in September?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna be there.
We will be there, Scott. We're doing appearances for Keystone, Camping World. We might stop by Leisure Travel Vans, and somebody else asked us to come by, and I don't remember who it is, but and then we'll be roaming around. So we'll post our schedule as we get down to Hershey Week. It's about a month away. Oh, and Battleborn Batteries. Yeah, we'll be hanging out there with those guys too. So we'll be. I don't know if we're going to do any videos, any work stories wise.
We don't know if we'll be able to do any videos because the only days we can do videos are Monday and Tuesday.
Because that's industry days, and during the public days now, it sounds crazy, but we get recognized so much. And
people recognize us, or the other problem is people don't recognize us and they find us extremely annoying
because we're
when
taking
we're
video,
shooting a video when they're trying to.
and there's a line.
two
Yeah, one of the two.
It's one of the
They
two.
either like us or hate us.
Yeah, it goes one way or the other.
But I tell you, one of the things that we are going to do on the Friday and Saturday of Hershey for Keystone RV, they'd ask if we'd do it. They're going to find a space. We're going to do an Ask Us Anything live edition. Now, we're not going to, maybe we could record it and put it on sometimes, but it's going to be basically for people who are there at the show who want to come meet us. And then we'll set it up and we'll answer questions just like this live at Hershey. So, and that's going to be on Friday and Saturday. So that's going to be
11
fun.
to 12, correct?
Yep. I hope we get a chance to meet you, Scott. That'd be great. Dante Ash.
I'm looking into a Ram 3500. Is it good for towing a fifth wheel? Second part of the question. I'm thinking about doing this full time. Is it a day by day pay, or can you pay by the month in campsites?
Well, let's answer that second part first. Some places will rent monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Most during prime season prefer weekly at the most. But call them. They almost all have monthly rates.
And some places you could only stay 2 weeks.
Some places will only allow you a certain time, and some places will let you stay as long as you want. The more popular resort area ones they may be a little pricey for you. But yeah, you can do it. Just call the campground. And the Ram 3500, absolutely, that's a big truck. I have a
F-250.
an F-250, which is the 3/4 ton. The 3500 would be the full ton. So you can tow a mighty big fifth wheel with a 3500. But yep, you should be just fine with that. Road trip, buddy.
Oh, what's for dinner tonight?
Oh, you missed it, buddy.
We had a great dinner tonight. I thought it was great.
Yeah, we had.
Can you believe a 4-ounce steak?
We had a 4-ounce filet mignon, that big.
And that we cut it in two.
And we split it.
And it was enough. And then I grilled
2 ounces.
mushrooms and all kinds of
And
peppers and onions.
Grilled onions, grilled peppers, green beans,
Yep.
Avocado salad, and 2 ounces of prime rib or prime filet prime.
Mignon.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. And
If you'd been here,
we're both losing weight.
yes. If you'd been here, road trip, buddy, we would have brought out another 4-ouncer and given you the whole 4 ounce.
But then I blew it.
Oh yeah, you went and had a.
Our kids gave us a gift from Omaha Steaks, and there was some,
That was
all
my
the different
Father's
steaks
Day
and chicken.
present.
Well, it was your present, but I'm claiming it. There were 4 of these little apple pie things, and so I ate one of those. So
Apple strudels, weren't
apple
they?
strudels, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Tomorrow I'll probably gain weight.
I had a small little bowl of fresh
Fruit.
raspberries and blueberries.
That's
I
what we
was
normally
very good.
have. It's just
Yep.
fruit.
Yep. But I'm trying to lose weight again, as always. Yeah. Renee Layton.
I have a family of 7 and want to know if buying a Class C RV is better than towing a trailer. I own a 2019 Dodge Ram 1500 Classic.
Well, let's see. Class C RVs are great, but a family of 7 in a Class C, I don't think so. I think they're going to be untenably, uncomfortably crowded. So a travel trailer is going to give you more room. You're a little limited to the ultralights with that 2019 1500. There are several of them that I'm sure you can find to choose, but you want to probably get one of the light, ultralight travel trailers. But that will give you more room, and you've got the truck then that you can use to run errands, which with a family of 7, I bet you have to do a lot of that, and stay in camp. With the Class C, when you have to run errands, as crowded as you
Come on,
have
everybody.
to be, everybody goes with you. So my clear recommendation for you is to think about a trailer.
And 7 seat belts in a Class C.
You're not going to get 7 seat belts on them. No.
Might get 6.
Yeah.
Tops.
You have trouble putting 7 people in a Dodge 1500. So think about a Class C. It'd be tough. So hope that helps, Renee. Davis, Tandy, and Buster.
Hello from Knoxville, Tennessee. Much better having a dealer sell it. Good for all parties involved.
Oh, it is.
Thank you for encouraging us, because most people think we're nuts.
And it is. And it gives whoever buys, I wonder, it gives them the assurance that they can call the dealer if they have a question, because then they may never get a hold of us. We're out running around all the time doing stuff. So, yep. Thanks. And I bet it's warm there in Knoxville. Thanks for checking in. Eileen Guido.
What would you recommend for first-time RV buyers? A down payment amount, size, not interested in a fifth wheel.
Well, I can't even begin
2
to
adults.
answer that. 2 adults and a little multi-poo. First-time buyers, I would urge maybe a Class C or a Class B, one of the longer Class Bs. I don't know if you're going to full-time or just, get your feet wet doing it. Class B would probably work. It's a little multi-poo. They're only about that big. And you do just fine with that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth wheel is pretty big to start off with. So a Class B or a Class C. I don't know
what. What about a towable trailer?
If money is an issue, a towable trailer, but then you got to have a truck to pull it with. So
some of those trailers are pretty light.
Still need a truck to pull them with.
Okay.
Yep. So and as far as down payment, I have no idea.
So you wouldn't recommend a teardrop? I'm just joking.
No, I would not recommend a teardrop. I mean, you could, but yeah. Linda Barcombe.
Do you have a 3050 amp outlet at home to hook up your Class C? If so, was it expensive to have installed?
We have a 30 amp at our Sticks and Bricks home in Michigan, and I don't remember what it cost.
I had it a long time.
We've had it for
Good.
8 of the 10 years we've
Yeah.
been doing this, maybe even longer.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it cost. You need to price it around, but it's not unreasonable. And I just am delighted with it. If we move to a different Sticks and Bricks house someday, I want to make sure we have room for the fifth wheel as well. So we'd want a 50 amp for that and a 30 amp for our motorhome. But right now we can't keep the fifth wheel here. We have to have it in storage.
You were trying to eye it today, figuring if you could get that fifth wheel in our driveway.
There, but
I think you could too, but it
you don't want to
tough.
have a fifth wheel. It'd
be tough.
But yeah, it's well worth getting. It's a bit costly, but this is the lifestyle you're going to use, and it really keeps it nice and topped off, and you'll be surprised how much you use it, even when it's in your driveway.
Yeah,
I use it as a man cave. I caught you out there napping in it.
We go out there, you go putz around, sit in it. It's almost as good as going on a trip.
It is.
And sometimes if something happens, you can't go on a trip and you really want to go on a trip, you can go out there.
And sometimes if family and friends visit, it's like They have their own ensuite bathroom,
Yes.
all that stuff.
Our daughter and her husband, they lost their power, and they came to our house and they slept in the motorhome.
Yep. So, So get the 30 app. Bite the bullet. Jeffrey Cosmos.
I have a 30-foot Class A with 2 ACs. I'd like to go to a 24-foot C, but I'm worried about the 1 AC unit keeping it cool in the summer. Do you have issues keeping cool in your C?
No, in our current Wonder, last year about this time we installed a really efficient and super quiet air conditioner. We removed the stock one that came with it. It's actually made by a company called Houghton, but it was installed on ours by Advanced RV in Willoughby, Ohio. I had to take it there, and it took the better part of a day for them to pull out the old and hook up the new. But we just love this air conditioner. For a Class C, it's extremely quiet and extremely efficient. And let's face it, in the middle of the summer when it's 100 degrees outside, there's no air conditioner that's going to keep you down to 68 degrees. But this does a pretty good job. The air conditioner is right over the bed of our C, which is where it is on most Class Cs, the air conditioner. So you can adjust the cooling, open the vents so it does everything, or just concentrate in one area like the bedroom. We've really enjoyed this air conditioner, and that's one of the extras that we had
Too
installed.
bad Bo can't speak. He could tell us what it was like in the front.
Yeah. I think Bo would be happy. He sleeps pretty good. So, and it's quiet. It doesn't keep you up all night. You can actually have a conversation with the air conditioner on. But with the stock one in a 24C, it's just going to be noisy, really noisy. And I have not had any problem, even in our Bs as well. So 24 is not that big of a C. You should be fine. You need about a 15,000 BTU.
Where you live could be.
Yeah. So it's not going to be cold, but it'll be cool. Facebook DXer or user.
Do you do any DXing on the road anymore?
Hi, HF, high frequency, 2 meters, 440. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. I just had a question that came in today to our email, our personal email, which I should share with you guys. It's Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com. Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com. There it is. That's our personal email. But as to the ham radio, boy, you are fast, Phyllis. Thank you. As to ham radio, I just had a question that came in today. I've had it. I love ham radio. Let's see if I can show you. This is my station all over here. And there's my call sign, KZRH up there. But I don't use it as much as I'd like to. I don't use it in the vehicles. I've had it. I just took it out because we're selling the Wonder. I just had it in the Wonder because it's not fair to you.
Such a wet blanket.
No, you're not.
You should have married a amateur radio person so you both could have enjoyed the.
No.
How you doing?
Yeah, it's just no. Yeah, what do you have for breakfast? Well, let me tell you about my breakfast for the next 30 minutes. It's just not very practical. It's noisy. People are always. It's not very practical. Years ago, it was a lot more practical, I think. But now, the hobby is so spread out over different modes that you can do, from digital to, there's so many different things you can do with it. I don't know. I don't even have it in my truck, although I'm thinking about it. I've got to figure out how I can put it in. And when I'm towing the fifth wheel, I probably will eventually put it in the truck so I have it. I just, it's my hobby, but I don't use it. It's not very practical. If you have other passengers in the car, it's not fair for them.
Not when I'm not with you. Do you listen to it?
Yeah, but there's not that much on.
Okay.
I mean, there really is not very much on.
Sound quite so bad.
No, you're not bad at all. And I mean, I can use digital, there's here it is. This is like a little hotspot that works through the network, and it will actually connect the network to my ham radio operator, and I can be on the same digital repeater that I'm on here at home. And that's pretty nice, but it's not very practical. It doesn't give me any road information. Waze, the app, is much better at that. So as I'm going to answer this guy on the podcast on Wednesday, I don't really recommend it unless, you're that much of a hobbyist. I suppose I could do, if I was all alone, I'd probably have that thing souped up like crazy. The joke is that if anything happens to Jen, I'm going to move to the UP and
Get 6 dogs.
get 6 dogs and a huge ham radio station with a big tower, and I'm going to eat myself
to 500
to 500 pounds working my ham radio.
Just sit there and eat.
But anyway, long story, but I get that a lot, and it really isn't that handy. Stephen Loy.
I believe the Truma AC unit could run almost all night on your new solar battery setup, but I don't think Truma will retrofit their units. They only put them into RVs at the factory.
Well, that's not going to help me out any. Maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
Lori McPherson.
We bought a brand new small trailer, sold our old camper pretty quick. Layout is perfect for us too. Quality isn't like our old one, but it's new, fun, and letting us enjoy summer.
I bought the iPod 192. That's a really neat little trailer. Yes, it is. Well, that's good. And I hope that I think it was, I don't remember who it was, Brenda, maybe way back there, a few questions away, asked about that. And I hope they saw your answer, Lori. Good for you. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Minetti.
I am building an RV park and wondering if I should have some shaded RV spots.
Duh.
I would say yeah.
Yeah. Come on. You're not really wondering that, are you, Anthony? You know that.
Although we in Pennsylvania, we had a limb fall and damage our RV.
That is one of the problems is, windstorms come through. And another problem, Anthony, so it's really a pretty good question because more and more of us are using Starlink for our internet communications. And that's going to be probably the standard almost in RVs for internet over the next few years, unless something crazy happens, like China shooting them down, which they have threatened to do, by the way. But the shaded trees don't really work well with Starlink internet. So obviously, I think you want to have some. Depends on the climate you're in, but
and trees also will make the lot so that some units can't fit there.
Yeah, maybe they're
because of the height, the branches on the trees. So it will limit.
Yeah,
what rigs can get into where.
I think you should have some.
And the limbs falling on your rig. I'm kind of paranoid about tree limbs ever since we damaged one of our rigs.
Yeah, that was Pennsylvania.
That was Pennsylvania. Yeah. That was the FX.
Yeah, fell right on.
And then with COVID, we couldn't get it fixed. Nobody would service it. Yeah. It was awful.
Well, good luck, Anthony, and your thing. Hey, our friends, the Geeks on Tour.
Okay, we're headed north to New Jersey in the van, flying to visit friends in UK, then back. Might get to Hershey. Well, I hope you do, and hope we can see you.
I think they just got back from France. Was that where they were? I think it was France or Italy. Let's not talk to them.
Yeah,
they had a really good time. And Jim immediately comes back and he goes scuba diving and catches lobster all the time. We've never been invited to one of his lobster dinners or to go diving with him. I haven't been diving in years, Jim.
Not since we bought this house.
Not since we
29 years ago.
So I'm about due for a dive trip with you. And I want to get some of those lobsters. But you know what they call lobsters? They call them the cockroach of the ocean because they eat all the gunk and junk out there. Congratulations. Miss you guys. We used to see those guys all the time at RV shows, and they're a great couple. Geeks on Tour. You look them up on YouTube. Rich T.
Remind your viewers to be on guard for catalytic converters. Someone desired mine last week. Without looking, took me less than 3 seconds. Once I started my RV to know mine was gone.
This is happening across the country. We do regularly remind people of that. And it's a huge epidemic. People are stealing those things left and right. And that's a big problem. You want to have some security and some noise around your RV. And if you have a motorhome, obviously your trailers and fifth wheels won't have it, but your truck will. So figure out a way to protect them if you can. KK Kayak.
Are you going to do your traditional camping in the UP this winter with your fifth wheel?
Actually, we would probably be more comfortable in our fifth wheel up there because all the plumbing is heated and it's inside basically. So we're thinking of it. Depends. It just depends. We haven't set the date yet for our camping in the UP because
It's really hard because of the Tampa RV show.
we have every year we have that Tampa show that is a huge responsibility for us. And it gets harder, more and more challenging for us to leave the upper peninsula of Michigan in the middle of the wintertime and make our way down to Tampa in time for industry days at the
to
show.
go 1,000 miles north, then back, and then whatever 1,000 miles down to Tampa.
So we haven't
in a short period
entirely,
of time.
but it would be the first in 10 years that we haven't done it. So.
And we have to go because it's on Bo's calendar.
Oh, the UP, yes.
Yeah, the UP.
It'd be unusual if we aren't there, but if we do, I think I'd like to go up and see what it's like with a fifth wheel there. Why not? Thomas Boone.
We had a terrific 10-day shakedown cruise with our
New URL. You mean you RV? I'm sure he means.
We stopped by your property and it looks great.
In Tennessee. Oh, it's one of our neighbors in Tennessee.
We have a while to go with our electric and well water project, just a couple of roads from you. Question: when we store our Unity indoors and it's on a trickle charge, 20 amp, do you need to turn off the main power circuit in the coach?
No, I don't think so. I've never had a trickle charge. I just leave mine plugged in all the time with the inverter on even.
But we're at a 30.
We're at the 30, and that's his is as well as a 30. No, well, he's plugged into 20 amp to trickle charge the lithium batteries. I don't know if you have lithium batteries. Sounds to me like you have AGM batteries. Ask your dealer, but I don't think you would have to turn off the main circuit because you want that battery to work, to take the charge, the trickle charge. The reason you turn off the main power is there's any bleed over, or any power, any little things that are slowly draining the battery, and there really aren't. If you're trickle charging it, you're going to be fine. I'm sure the people at the storage place can answer that question for you too. So I don't think I would. Joanne Neely.
We had a muffler shop install a steel cable locking our catalytic converter in place, about $400.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but man, what a hassle if you lose it. Thank you, Joanne, for saying that. That's great. Wow. $400. I haven't thought of that. A muffler shop could do it. So Trish Cargman.
What recourse do we have when we have a problem with the campground service?
None.
You can leave.
You can leave. Yeah. I mean, none. If you're not happy with it, leave. If they don't give you your money back, do you want to sue them? No attorney is going to take a case over a $30, $40, whatever the nightly thing. You don't have any recourse. So choose wisely on a campground. I guess if it's a matter of principle, hire a lawyer if you think they really, did you terrible, damage. But I would assume you're just talking about a $50 or whatever the nightly rate is. Your best resource is to leave and go find somebody else. Don't waste time worrying about it. Just write them off your list and go find someplace you're comfortable with. That's my advice. But, you don't have to follow that. 61 Caddy on Route 66. Oh, I love that. I love that.
So sorry you were a victim of those unscrupulous thieves. Happened to us earlier this spring. Talk to your insurance agent and have someone you trust do the repair.
Oh, he's talking about the previous comment we had up there. Yeah, that's no good. That is no good. It's a great handle you got. Davis, Tandy, and Buster with a comment.
Going to Elkhart, we stayed at a Journey RV park and was directly under a low-hanging tree. Slowly drove under it, listening to branches drag across the roof. Not the best first impression.
Yeah, that's why, don't pull in. Of course, you might not have had any other spots to go to, but, they're just filling spots. And that kind of goes back to that guy who's building the RV site. See, there's an issue right there with branches. You got to trim those trees to get those low hanging branches out of there. If the RV park is so ignorant that they don't trim their branches, knowing that, RVs are
Expensive.
up to 13 feet high, some of them, then I'd question anything in that park. So, but sometimes you don't have it, you pull in and that's the only spot you can get. But
I'm so sorry that happened, because it's just,
it makes you so mad.
The worst feeling to hear those branches wrecking your paint.
Yep.
Well, maybe it's quitting time.
I guess what is it? It's
getting there.
No, it's not quitting time yet. It's not quitting. Well, where'd everybody go? I guess it's time to us go. We can go because we got places to go tonight.
Yeah, we've got a couple hours worth of driving to do.
Okay. Well, Phyllis is telling me to remind everybody to go shop, and you can go shop, get our gear, our merch, our books, our ebooks. That's where you find all of our stuff, and we invite you to pick up some of that. We're sold out for this event, but I'll tell you about it anyway. That's our gathering in Tennessee, October 17th through the 20th. Now, if you do want to come to that, we do not have any RV spots for you at this point. We might be able to give you some suggestions on stuff you can do on your own, because we've taken up this entire campground. Plus, a couple of the events that we have can't handle any more people, like our big farm day that we're having a campfire and we're hanging around a farm and eating the fried chicken. They just can't handle any more people. But for some of the activities, there is a package deal that you can get at the Commodore Hotel in Linden, Tennessee. You can get details on it right here. And you certainly can go on our waiting list, because we do think we're going to be able to find a few more spots. Maybe not with the main group. Maybe this RV park that we're in, maybe is even going to make a couple of new spots. So get on the waiting list if you think you'd like to come. And there's always some cancellations. There's no cancellations allowed up to from a month ahead of time.
Talking about getting refunds.
Yeah, for refunds. We have to pay a month ahead of time. We have to pay all of our bills for it. So no refunds after that date, but right before that. So by September 16th, 17th, I know we'll have some cancellations because people's plans change, and then we'll fill those from the waiting list. But at this point, you can still go read about all the things that we have there and some of the other opportunities that you have to become a part of that gathering. It's going to be a great week down in Middle Tennessee. And we're going to invite everybody out to our property and have a nice big bonfire out there, and we'll show you around what we have out there. So that's it. All right. Bradley Olson. Hey, Bradley, good to see you. He says, oh, yeah, I moved the screen.
You moved it, so it's over by you. So read it, boy.
He says, greetings from the North Shore of Minnesota as we continue our 40 days of camping and wandering through the wilderness. Well, we love that North Shore from Duluth up to the Canadian border. Is one of the most beautiful stretches on Lake Superior that you'll find anywhere. And Bradley, I know you're having a great time there. It's awesome. That's great. All right. No more about the Buffalo River. That's the dates if you missed them again. But I think we're going to just wrap this up because we've kind of reached all of our questions and all of our answers. So check us out. Got a great podcast coming for you. It'll release Wednesday morning. Be sure and tune in for that. And thank you guys so much for being a part of Ask Us Anything tonight. Tomorrow's the 1st of August. Can you believe that? Mm-hmm. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Happy trails.